Introduction. The class develops what a vehicle registration certificate is, why it is so important, and its implications for fleet management. Vehicle Registration Certificate. Importance of the Vehicle Registration Certificate. The Vehicle Registration Certificate is the document that certifies the registration of a vehicle and details some of its technical characteristics and ownership. Since 2015, all European countries have used the same format, which includes mileage and the MOT card with its period of validity. Since the entry into force of Directive 1999/37/EC of the Council of the European Union and its amendment by the Commission through Directive 2003/127/EC, vehicle registration certificates must be harmonized throughout the European Union. In other words, all EU countries must issue them in the same format and with the same information. The case of Spain is described below, but it will be the same or similar in any country. In Spain, this document is issued by the Directorate General of Traffic (DGT) and also includes the Vehicle Technical Inspection MOT card. The Vehicle Registration Certificate does not have a specific expiration date, but it must be in good condition and up to date to be valid. If it is damaged, a duplicate must be requested. A provisional vehicle registration certificate may also be issued in specific situations, such as during the registration process for a new vehicle. Any changes to the information on the vehicle registration certificate must be reported to the traffic headquarters so that a new, updated document can be issued. This is common practice in vehicle sales transactions. If you drive a vehicle with changes to the owner's personal details without reporting them, you may be fined €80. Having your address updated with the traffic department allows you to conveniently receive notifications from this body, such as fines. It will also allow you to conveniently receive the vehicle circulation tax sent to you by your local council within the voluntary period so that you can pay it on time and avoid subsequent surcharges. Functions of the Vehicle Registration Certificate. It certifies registration and ownership. It is equivalent to the vehicle's ID card, containing technical data and owner information. It allows the vehicle to be driven legally. It is a mandatory document for driving on public roads in both Spain and the European Union, as all countries use the same format. It is required for any vehicle-related procedures at the General Directorate of Traffic. It is required for any vehicle-related procedures at the General Directorate of Traffic. It is also essential for taking out insurance and for the vehicle technical inspection. It allows the owner to be identified in the event of fines. In the event of violations related to documentation or maintenance, or when the driver cannot be identified, fines are addressed to the license holder. Vehicle transfer. It is essential for changing the ownership of the vehicle. Road safety. It contributes to road safety by ensuring that only authorized vehicles are allowed on public roads. Penalties for not carrying your vehicle registration certificate. Driving without your vehicle registration certificate can result in a fine of up to €500, depending on the offense. In addition, if the authorities detect that the vehicle is not properly registered or does not have a valid MOT certificate, the penalties can be even higher. Vehicle registration information. The Vehicle Registration Certificate is a green document that contains all the details of the vehicle and its owner, like the vehicle's genetic code, according to Order Pre. 1355, 2005. All vehicle registration certificates issued in Spain must include the following information: Kingdom of Spain, as well as the letter E. Ministry of the Interior and General Directorate of Traffic, Vehicle Registration Certificate, in Spanish and in large letters, and in smaller letters in the other languages of the EU, European Community. The information that must be included includes, among other things, document serial number, vehicle registration number, date of first registration, and validity, first and last name or company name of the vehicle owner and their address, vehicle make, commercial name, identification number, and service for which it is intended, maximum load capacity and number of seats, including the driver's seat. In the case of a public transport vehicle, the number of standing places must also be specified. Power, engine size, fuel type, mileage, MOT validity, tire approval. This is a document to which more information has been added over time. Since the beginning of 2015, permits issued for new registrations, transfers, changes of ownership, or duplicates must include 2 additional pieces of information: mileage and the validity of the MOT. In the case of a new car, the mileage does not appear, but the date on which the MOT test will be mandatory does. The fact that it is mandatory to specify the kilometers traveled by a vehicle helps to eradicate the practice of falsifying this information, which has historically been widespread through the manipulation of the odometer. Renewal of the vehicle registration certificate. If, as a result of a modification, change of service, or change of details, the content of your vehicle's registration certificate is modified, you must notify the General Directorate of Traffic of the change so that the modification can be recorded and a new registration certificate can be issued reflecting these changes. Specifically, you must notify the changes and request renewal of the vehicle registration certificate in the following cases. If there is a change in the vehicle's service, for example, a change from public to private service or vice versa, or a change to historic vehicle, mobile home, or private use of a vehicle that has been a taxi, ambulance, police vehicle, etc. If there has been a change in the characteristics of the vehicle, these are the result of a major modification. Major modifications normally involve a change in the information that appears on the vehicle registration certificate, which is therefore renewed. If the characteristic that has changed does not have a section in the vehicle registration certificate, for example, the type of vehicle, such as mixed, adaptable, etc., you must request an annotation of the changing characteristics not reflected in the certificate, after which the change will be noted, but a new certificate will not be issued. If there has been a change in the owner's details due to a change of name, surname, or company name. In the case of companies or legal entities, you must take the following into account. If the change in the company name does not imply a change in the tax identification number and you have not previously notified the General Directorate of Traffic of this change, you will have to notify them when you apply for the renewal of the vehicle registration certificate and pay the corresponding fee. If the change in company name involves a change in tax identification number, or if it is due to a merger, corporate split, or non-monetary contribution, instead of applying for renewal of the documentation, you must transfer the vehicles affected. The permit cannot be renewed if your vehicle has any restrictions on driving. Importance of the vehicle registration certificate for passing the MOT test. The vehicle registration certificate is an essential document for passing the MOT test. It must be presented during the inspection, as it contains key information about the vehicle, such as the registration number, the registered owner, and the technical characteristics. Without it, the inspection cannot be carried out, which could result in penalties for not having a valid MOT. In addition, MOT stations need this certificate to check that the vehicle is authorized to drive and complies with legal requirements. It is therefore essential that you bring it with you on the day of the inspection, either in physical format or digitally via the MIDGT app. Implications for fleet management. The main consequence of not having a vehicle registration certificate is the cost of the fine, failing the MOT test if it is not presented, and not being able to take out vehicle insurance. The following measures are recommended. Check that the vehicle has a registration certificate. From time to time, you should check that the vehicle has a printed registration certificate which must be kept with the rest of the vehicle's documentation. If the registration certificate is digital, you should also check that it is available on the DGT app. Duplicate registration certificate. In my experience as a fleet manager, vehicle documentation tends to get lost, so it is recommended that a duplicate of the registration certificate be kept in the vehicle and that the fleet manager have the original. Driver training. Drivers must be trained on the documentation that the vehicle must have, such as the technical specifications, the vehicle registration certificate, and the driver's license, in case they have to present it to the traffic authorities on the road or at the ITV. DGT app. Activate the DGT app if the vehicle has a digital registration certificate available. Loss of registration certificate. If you lose your registration certificate, you must request a new one immediately. Always keep your registration certificate in the glove compartment of your car. Keep it in a plastic sleeve or transparent envelope. This will prevent it from becoming creased, wet, or damaged over time. Do not remove it from the vehicle unnecessarily, and if you do, make sure you return it to its place immediately. Many losses occur because it is left behind after a service or administrative procedure. Avoid leaving it in areas where it may be exposed to direct sunlight. Over time, the ink may fade or the paper may deteriorate. In summary, the vehicle registration certificate is one of the most important documents you must keep in order. Not only does it help you avoid penalties, but it is also necessary for administrative procedures, taking out insurance, and passing the MOT test.
Learned about our fleet management consulting and training services. Reduce costs and optimize fleet management activities. We electrify your fleet of vehicles. We carry out the electrification plan until its implementation, known as